Hello, and welcome to Higher Education Post COVID-19 Perspectives from India. In this podcast series, we will be providing you with a glimpse of the impact of the pandemic on the higher education sector in India. This series is presented to you by Participatory Research in Asia, an India based civil society organization. After witnessing the current pandemic and its effect on the higher education system, there's a dire need to ask ourselves what needs to change in the future. With an experience of studying in various parts of the country, such as Srinagar, Bangalore, and Delhi, in this episode of the podcast series, we have with us Kunwarpreet Singh, who is currently studying at TERI School of Advanced Studies in Delhi. He shares with us what he believes is key to designing any solution, whether it be for the current or for the future crisis.
So, when you talk about preparing India's higher education sector to drive itself through a future crisis, so the country's heterogeneity should be kept in mind. So that's something very important. So if you travel from the north to the south or from one college to other, you see a mix of students. So on one end of the economic spectrum, you have students who can afford personal cars and chauffeurs to drive them around through the city. And on the other end, you have students who need to take a loan to finance even their college fee. For example, some colleges in Delhi are not very expensive. So the maximum fee being 10 to 15,000 per annum. So that's something which students like me spend per month. And there are people who need to take a loan for that. So something like online classes is not the best solution. So it works really well for private universities and colleges where students have access to these facilities. So if someone has a very decent internet connection, a laptop or a tablet to access their classes to, so that's very good. It works very well for them. But if you have just a mobile phone, the screen is very too small to study anything. So it doesn't work very good. And so we need to design solutions to specifically cater to the needs of the other end of the spectrum. So I'm not saying online education is bad, so it's the best solution which we have got right now, but it is not accessible. That's the only issue. So we need to provide students with some cheap devices, be innovative with them, and so they can access their classes. And we also need a very decent internet connection. You cannot expect students to attend online classes without any of these two things. Also, we need to prepare for different kind of uncertain events in the future. So we never know what kind of event will happen next. Will it be some other disease or will it be a political conflict? So we need to design our solutions around the different catastrophes which can occur. So that the basis of any solution should be inclusivity.